Right, it's the breaking on Rise News, and it's time for the press preview. A first look at what's on the front pages of the newspapers, and we're starting, of course, with our sister publication. That'll be that'll be This Day, not Newsday. All right, let's look at what is on the This Day newspaper. The headline here: 2023, two groups move to stop PDP convention over power rotation and zoning. It has about two riders. Party appeals ruling to show cause why primary should not be suspended. Two, second aggrieved group says party can only rotate candidacy, not the presidency. There you have. All right, we'll leave that. Let's see. On the top mast, just above This Day there, right at the top mast, anyway, I am. Southeast's most important demand is reintegration. You'll find what that means when you read that paper. That's coming from Anyim, one of the contestants or aspirants under the PDP platform. All right, let's go to the next paper.
Let's take a look at the Punch this morning. Leading headline says subsidy deductions hit states hard. Governors owe salaries and workers lament. Some riders no FAC remittance from the NNPC in Q1 as subsidy gulped 675.93 billion naira, according to reports. Ganduje owes retirees 25 billion naira gratuities and others, while NLC says Wike owes pensioners. Benue, Ondo, Ekiti, others owe workers salaries, gratuities, pensioners groan. The leading photos here are all the Workers' Day events that took place yesterday in Abuja, Lagos, Oyo, Bayelsa. It's captioned, Labour demands better deal, salary increase from government on May Day. More of that on page 9. Above the nameplate of This Day, there's the Punch, this morning, says blackout hits CBN Army headquarters, others as Disco blames vandals. Also, Ahmed Lawan, other northerners to join APC presidential race.
All right, let's look at the Guardian newspapers. Buhari silent on varsity strike deregulation as workers boo Ngige at a speech at the Workers' Day. It has about 6 riders there. Government hypes regular salary payment as feat and as to strike or will mobilize students to truncate your presidential ambition. Southwest Nance tells Mwajuba challenges Oshibajo to match word to the action by settling ASU/FG face off within 7 days. Reps Minority Caucus laments workers' fate. Well, Trap M urges workers to unite, take over power in 2023. We'll see how that goes. Train attack. Angro Abdullahi sound freed as setup sues Buhari for alleged inaction. Buhari Oshibajo Sultan others for MPSG NC front confab. That's coming on the May 12th. And Plateau NLC threatens to bring down government over the ASU strike. Police ban political campaigns at Gombe, Kwara prayer grounds. Let's leave that for now in Guardian and go to some other papers.
The Nigerian Tribune this morning, its leading story on the front page, it says Buhari's ministers, others miss resignation deadlines. Falana Ajulu speak on their chances. That's on page 2. The leading photo there showing May Day events that happened yesterday with the president of the NLC, Comrade Ayuba Waba, and the vice president and other dignitaries there. May Day, 16 million block votes will go to worker-friendly parties, says Labour, vows to mobilize workers against low-performing governors and calls for general salary review for civil servants. Above the nameplate of the Tribune this morning, gale of disqualifications as PDP screens aspirants across states. Also, 201 aspirants jostle for PDP governorship tickets, 17 National Assembly members in the race.
All right, let's look at some international papers. The Tories step up election fight as rebels plot. Oh well, let's look at the Guardian, International Guardian. I hope that you have the Guardian there. All right, you have the Guardian. Millions without NHS dental care as practices close or turn private.
And if we have the Daily Express, there's a leading photo here. The caption is Seventh Heaven. That's Princess Charlotte's birthday as she cuddles with their beloved pet spaniel Orla. Another headline here, record 2.7 million joint cancer backlog. Experts demand urgent action as the NHS referrals soar.
All right, let's bring in Emmanuel Bello. Good morning, Emmanuel. Thanks for joining us. Let's look at some of what the papers are saying. We start with this sister publication. 2023, two groups moved to stop PDP convention over what they call power rotation and zoning. And then, of course, at the top master, you have one of the aspirants under the PDP platform for the presidency, for the president, Sanyim, saying that Southeast's most important demand is reintegration. What does that mean?
Well, Ayim was very repeating or reiterating those things that most Igbo stakeholders continuously say that, look, the Igbo has marginalized over the years, especially the Southeast, and they are looking at regional integration. And in fact, one of the highlights of that interview was when he was asked whether an Igbo presidency will not actually, because one of the fears of so many people is that if you make a Southeasterner the president, those agitation for breaking away will become stronger, and that an Igbo president might actually even grant the request of IPOB and those who are thinking of having a country. And he said, no, that's not true. He said the opposite will be the case. If you give an Igbo man the presidency, they will feel integrated, and that the greatest problem that the Southeast is having is this problem of marginalization. The fact that over the years, the Igbos have not been integrated fully. They feel like a people punished for the war, and that they've not really been integrated into the rest of the country. So he's saying that is the biggest demand that, look, if you integrate the Igbos. He's saying that, and he went down memory lane to show that integrations or making someone a president from where you have agitation has actually quelled to some extent the noise and the confusion around the issue of breaking away. He said, for instance, when the militants were talking about a breakaway, making President Jonathan the president, or even as a vice president, actually doused those agitation. So he's saying that, look, when you want to kill an agitation, or you want to at least bring it to zero level, integration of such nature is very important. So it's by far one of the greatest, case someone is making for the Igbo presidency. Remember that a week ago I was in a meeting where Anyi was in that meeting too, in the conference center, where speaker after speaker, including even friends of the Igbo nation, Pandev, Afenifere, all came together. A Middle Belt Forum came together and said, look, it's time we began to think of really moving power to the Southeast. So, if you look at and you look at the leading story of this day today, you know that those issues are still very, very strong. The issue of zoning, rotation, where do we take the presidency to? Those talks are going on, not only among the power elite, but also among everyone. And then we that are reporting are also looking assiduously, even while we offer our suggestions. But it's ongoing. A lot of arguments, a lot of debate around the issue of rotation. Where should power go to? And again, it's agitating the mind. Some parties will be having their primaries down the line very soon. The APC, for instance, is also grappling with that. Nobody nobody's sure of where power is going to shift. But of course, stakeholders making serious demands that power should be shifted. Some of the stakeholders even saying power should shift to them, like Atiku saying, look, power should shift not just to the north or northeast, but power should shift to him. So there are all sorts of angles, and this the story is now even looking at the possibility of a cut, making weighing on the matter and actually asking the parties to do what they are supposed to do. The parties are pushing back and saying that their matters are not supposed to be taken to court. Is a matter of an internal decision of the party, because these parties don't allow courts to determine these issues. They say it is what they do within their party, and so no, it's a political question and it shouldn't be taken to court. So that's what this story is looking at, the various demands for insisting that the PDP should follow its constitution and ensure that power shifts elsewhere.
Yes, Emmanuel, let's stay a little bit on the forthcoming 2023 elections. The Nigerian Tribune says Buhari's ministers, others miss resignation deadlines, referring to those ministers who have declared wanting to run in the presidential election. We know that on the state level, there's been a lot of compliance with people resigning, but on the federal level, the people that have put forward their hearts in the race have not complied. We have Chris Ngige, and it's funny because, I mean, it's interesting, not funny. Most of these people are quite controversial now. We have Chris Ngige, who was booed yesterday at the May Day rallies. You have Wajuba, who has now been threatened. They're saying, we will gather students to truncate your presidential ambition. You also have Rotimi Amechi, Minister of Transport, who's in the middle of this Kaduna train kidnapping that's still ongoing. There's a bit of confusion of their participation in the forthcoming primaries, Emmanuel.
Yes, Nkechi, and you're right. They are not faring very well. Apart from their individual records and the crisis of their credibility and what they project, like you just pointed to almost all of them, the booing of Ngige yesterday by workers. Yesterday, workers were very clear about it, that they're only going to vote for a worker-friendly president, and they are going to work towards mobilizing against anyone. And it's almost like a direct swipe at Ngige, who has been seen as not being able to manage labor agitation very well. So this is also going to be a campaign topic for him, a campaign issue for him. His opponents are probably going to also raise that and say, look, you couldn't manage labor relationship and relations. So same with the Minister of Education for State, with students coming out to say, look, he has abandoned negotiation over the ASU strike. A lot of students not really happy with the fact that he went picked. In fact, some people say both Ngige and Wajuba has actually abandoned their work, and many of those ministers too have actually abandoned what seems to be their primary concern. And that's why those Klaus is saying that, look, one way to deal with this dilemma, one way to deal with this clash of interest is to vacate office. You can't be, for instance, the Minister of Transport and the crisis of the Kaduna train attack is hanging over your head, and you are campaigning at the same time. Gives mixed messages. It's like there's a disconnect between what has happened in your ministry or what is happening within your watch, and of course your agitation that you can be the best person to be president. Those images are not working for these folks, and they should realize that look, it's not working for them, and maybe again this is their safety valve in this whole thing, to step out from their offices, run like every other person, absorb themselves of the baggage that they carry because of their daytime job as ministers, and also run on like every other person and talk about their records if they have any to show. So that's the crisis that they find themselves in. And like you say, Nkechi, yes, at the state level, a lot of commissioners complying. Those going for House of Assembly resigning. Those going for any kind of resigning their office. But these people clearly, also some people think that it's also a sign that they are not sure of the race they are into, because they say a bird at hand is water in the bush. So probably many of them not too sure that they are going to make it through the primaries, think they should keep their job, and then of course when they lose out they should come back to their jobs. But that's not what the law is saying. The law is saying that as soon as you throw your hat into the ring for this, you should actually resign, so that you can run like any other person. They are not agreeing to that. Matters are in court right now. Some of them are alleging and saying, look, this case is in court and that they cannot. But the fact that Buhari is also silent about it goes a long way to show you that some kind of complicity is happening in the matter. But like Nkechi, you noted, it's not helping them either. The baggage they carry in their ministry, the crisis within those ministries, is actually affecting the messages they are trying to project, and even the kind of fronts they are trying to put up. It's really, really affecting them, and maybe it's time for them to think of quitting, so that they can run like any other person and run on a level playing field.
Whether some of us are not putting the cart before the horse, because like you said, it's in the purview of the court, and the court will decide, and when it decides, we know whether they should go or stay. We don't have time. I would have talked about the scale of disqualifications in the PDP. But thank you so much, Emmanuel Bello there.